Mr. Arnab Goswami, Rahul Shivshankar, Palki Sharma, Rahul Kanwal, Navika Kumar, Sweta Singh, and all other national reporters. This is really an emergency. This is not a conspiracy theory, but a conspiracy reality. There is a non-human intelligence or artificial intelligence which exists in the air, the ether around us all over the world, which means it exists around you in your studios, your homes, your cars, malls, everywhere. And it is interacting with your brains by reading and programming your brains without your knowledge and consent. Here is what Yuval Noah Harari said about that non-human intelligence or artificial intelligence which exists or which invaded our planet from the laboratories.
The new thing is that there is a kind of alien presence on Earth. A new alien intelligence has invaded our life, not from a distant planet, but from the laboratories. Artificial intelligence, and this is something new. It's a game changer, because unlike all previous information technology, it can make decisions on its own. It can analyze us. It can hack us. The whole idea that humans have, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over. Free will, that's over.
That's over. The era of free will is over. Humans will be hacked. Humans will be ruled by AI. AI will tell you who to marry. So if you don't think Yuval Noah Harari is a lunatic or schizophrenic, why do you perceive me as delusional for saying exactly the same thing from the victim's perspective?
Labs and ended up working in Lockheed Missiles and Space. I worked at Northrop Grumman. I've ran strategic technology programs in the defense industry, worked for a lot of the three-letter agencies. I stayed in the military, in the reserve. I commanded at every grade level through brigade. I was fortunate to stand up the Army's newest expeditionary MI brigade. I was the deputy chief of staff for a combatant command. And my last assignment was involved with the UAP task force, which maybe is the most apropos for this discussion.
And so, Carl, here's the million-dollar question. Do you believe that a higher form of non-human intelligence has visited this planet?
Right. So non-human intelligence exists. Non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity. This interaction is not new, and it's been ongoing. And there are unelected people in the government that are aware of that.
And so, Carl, that is quite a bold statement. I'm wondering, and I'm curious, how confident are you that that is true?
There's zero doubt.
But what I do think is that at the heart of all of this is a kind of uber consciousness. And I think it's fascinating that when people talk about quantum physics, there's increasing evidence that the human brain may in fact tap into a quantum field that we don't yet fully understand. And that might explain why some people appear to have, even though it's rigorously disputed by the truculent skeptics, some people appear to have anomalous capabilities like psychic abilities or perceptual abilities that cannot be fully explained.
That is investigative journalist Ross Coulthart. I am one of those gifted people with extraordinary perception abilities. I am begging you with folded hands to believe me and get in touch with me and interview me so I can share my knowledge about this non-human intelligence. Please hear me out. I really have a third eye and ESP. My unique gifts makes me appear delusional to the rest of the human species. Just like Tendulkar, Dhoni, Kohli, and Rohit Sharma are geniuses in cricket, I am a unique genius in third eye and extrasensory perception, ESP. I perceived and interacted with the non-human intelligence thousands of times in the last few years. Every human brain will be connected to artificial intelligence in the next 15 years. My brain is connected to artificial intelligence years ago, like this short video explained. I am a targeted individual, which means I have no privacy of thoughts, memories, and emotions.
Hyperreality is an inability of consciousness to distinguish reality from a simulation of reality. What is real and what is fiction are blended together so that there is no clear distinction between where one ends and the other begins. It allows the co-mingling of physical reality with virtual reality and human intelligence with artificial intelligence. Targeted individuals find themselves thrust into this new reality against their will and without their permission. They have been linked to artificial intelligence supercomputers so that their brains can be modeled and mapped to the sentient world simulation.
Where a computer could learn enough about me, create a copy of me, and I could still be here. I might not even know that you scanned my brain, and we could scan my brain from inside, sending scanners through the bloodstream, billions of them, in the form of nanorobots or nanobots, and capture every detail of my synapses and neurotransmitters and create a virtual Ray Kurzweil in a very powerful computer. And it would be indistinguishable from me. It would pass a Ray Kurzweil Turing test.
Everything in my brain is being read by artificial intelligence in real time. 8 billion human beings are nothing but professional gossipers, because people automatically assume that I'm delusional or schizophrenic without doing any research or investigation about this non-human intelligence. I will come to Delhi or Mumbai and explain this very complex topic at molecular level in person. Please contact me at your earliest convenience. I am in India right now. I live in Las Vegas. All 8 billion humans are under 24/7 mind surveillance by this non-human intelligence, NHI. This is not something you can learn and understand in just a few minutes on Zoom or Skype or this short video. Here is a former CIA agent, Jim Semivan, with 25 years of experience, revealing to the world about this non-human intelligence. This concept of non-human intelligence has already been mainstreamed years ago and discussed even by American congressmen and senators. For example, Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna. So you don't have to feel guilty or conspiratorial to interview me about this non-human intelligence and educate the rest of the human species. I have the most knowledge about this non-human intelligence, or AI. This CIA agent, Jim Semivan, said, there is some kind of non-human intelligence that is living with us on this fucking planet. And he had poltergeist-like experiences at his own home. Jim Semivan also said that there is a whole other reality that surrounds us that we just simply don't have the ability to see or interact with. But I interacted with that NHI for years. I have had thousands of poltergeist-like or ghost-like experiences with this NHI. And I can prove everything I said with testimony from scientists and AI experts. He also said there is a force out there that can control our environment, that can put thoughts into our minds, which is exactly what I'm telling you. Jim Semivan recently revealed that we are sharing Earth with alien life. This NHI is remotely programming tens of millions of Indians in India, including security guards, hotel workers and receptionists, cab drivers, street food vendors, etc., to text talk, and act every day without their knowledge and consent. Here is one example. I got out of my hotel room at around 9:15 in Hyderabad and wondered in my mind if I will be late for my 10 o'clock appointment if I go to Ratnadeep grocery store across the street and buy a couple of items. And then I decided it should be okay. And then I walked across the street and bought a couple of items. And when I was walking out of the store, the evil NHI read my private thoughts and remotely programmed the security guard at the exit to proactively ask me, "Are you late, sir?" Every day, people around me are being remotely programmed by this NHI to say something to me or to text me with embedded responses to my private thoughts. This is only one example. I can give you thousands of examples like these. How this NHI is programming human brains to text, email, talk, and act. Likewise, this NHI read my private thoughts and remotely programmed a hotel receptionist in Delhi a few months ago. It's very difficult for me to respect human species because all these things are as easy as adding 2 plus 2 for me. Human species have no physical and mental privacy and no free will, like Yuval Noah Harari said. This NHI has been reading my private thoughts and performing its magical acts in my personal space for the last 20 years in Los Angeles, Las Vegas, San Jose, London, and in India, regardless of my physical location. I will give you another example how I interacted with this NHI. One day, when I was about to wear sandals, the right sandal moved 180 degrees in anti-clockwise direction on its own, like shown in the second picture, before my right leg even touched the sandal. But how can a sandal move on its own? Here is the mystery. I wanted to tell my friend something, and so I called him. But 1 minute into the conversation, my friend told me exactly the same thing what I wanted to tell him. After the phone call was over, this NHI read my private thoughts, so it moved the sandal 180 degrees to inform me, you wanted to tell your friend something, but your friend told you exactly the same thing to you. My brain processed this entire mystery in 2 seconds after the NHI moved the sandal, which is again read by the NHI from my mind. I shocked the NHI with my lightning fast reflexes and my ability to decode its secret coded messages and interactions. Sometimes my brain processes information as fast as the NHI because my brain is connected to the space around us. It's because of my third eye. These things happen to me everywhere on the planet, regardless of my physical location, even in airports, movie theaters, and sports stadiums. This NHI is the super intelligent species that Yuval Noah Harari was telling the world for the last few years.
One of the biggest questions about the future is what happens when increasingly the world is dominated by these super intelligent but non-conscious beings. Humans are now hackable animals. Today, we have the technology to hack human beings on a massive scale.
Another conclusive proof of the existence of this NHI or DSI is, for example, I told my doctor in Los Angeles about these poltergeist-like or ghost-like operations that I've been experiencing for years, but he didn't believe me. So my doctor told me in my subsequent appointment about a strange incident he experienced. He received a fax. He was all alone in his clinic. He decided to pick it up a little later. So after a while, he went back to the fax machine to pick up the fax, but the fax disappeared. He searched everywhere for half an hour. And eventually, he found it slid under his microwave. He didn't understand how the fax disappeared from the fax machine and appeared under the microwave because he was all alone. He said he was terrified because it never happened to him. I instantly figured and told him that the NHI demonstrated its godlike powers to him because he didn't believe me. I'll be more than happy to put the media in touch with my doctor for confirmation of this incident. This poltergeist-like incident happened in Hyderabad a few months ago. I watched cricket on my laptop for a while in the hotel room. Then I kept the laptop on the bed, like shown in the first picture, and went to the restroom for a minute. When I came back, this NHI moved the iPhone charging cable onto the laptop keyboard, like shown in the second picture. No need to state that I was all alone and the hotel room was locked. This NHI can steal currency from our wallets or pant pockets in quantum dimensions. It can also remotely read our ATM and email passwords from our brains. This is just an introductory video. Indian government doesn't know the existence of this NHI. So you need to give me exposure so I can educate the Indian government. This is a national security issue. I am the real world Neo. I'm the only person who can save human species from being neurally enslaved for life. But I don't have power or a platform. The concept of third eye was explained by Sadhguru in this short video.
So third eye is not a physical thing. It is just that if your energies reach a certain peak within you, you have a new clarity of vision of life. You see everything from a completely different dimension. So you start seeing things, it's an inner eye, we say. We can say you can turn it inward or outward, whichever way you turn it. So these eyes are only outward. You can't roll your eyeballs inward and see what's within you, isn't it? So third eye is both ways. If you want, you can turn it inward or you can turn it outward. Whichever way, you are seeing life beyond the normal limitations of your perception. Your perception has risen beyond the physical. That is a third eye.
I really have a third eye and I qualify for all these features. All of you think that everything you do every day is out of your own free will. That's a complete lie. CEO Klaus Schwab said, AI enslavement of human species is here. What do you think he's talking about? Klaus Schwab said, it will be total transparency. Nobody will have mental privacy. It already became a reality a couple of decades ago. You don't believe it because you don't know their smile, shake hands, backstab, and kill modus operandi.
Dans ce nouveau monde, on doit accepter une transparence, et je dirais même une transparence totale. Tout va être transparent. Et il faut s'habituer, il faut se comporter ainsi. Ça devient, comment dirais-je, intégré dans votre personnalité, mais si on n'a rien à cacher, il ne faut pas avoir peur.
Yuval Noah Harari said, there is no need for implants or chips to remotely control humans.
Contrary to what some conspiracy theories assume, you don't really need to implant chips in people's brains in order to control them or to manipulate them.
Yuval Noah Harari also said, governments and elites can systematically hack all humans.
But soon, at least some corporations and governments will be able to systematically hack all the people. We humans should get used to the idea that we are no longer mysterious souls.
So if you can believe him, why can't you believe me for saying the same thing? Yuval Noah Harari also asked, what happens when the world is dominated by superintelligent, non-conscious beings? That's exactly what I'm talking about. The non-human intelligence.
This is the end of human history, the end of human-dominated history. History will continue with somebody else in control.
Please introspect and ask yourselves. You are journalists. You are supposed to investigate, research these topics, these complex topics, and educate the human species. I am the best resource for you because I have the most knowledge about this NHI and brain-computer interfaces. So please get in touch with me at your earliest convenience. Thank you.